Hello, and welcome to this episode of the White House 1600 Sessions. I'm Stuart McLaurin, president of the White House Historical Association. Today, I'm in Lincoln, Rhode Island at Beacon Design, a division of the Chemart Company, which is home to the longtime trusted maker of the official White House Christmas ornament. Since 1981, the White House Historical Association has partnered with our friends at Beacon to produce these beautifully designed and hand-assembled ornaments. They've always been made right here in Rhode Island, in America, by this veteran and family-founded company. Well, the proceeds from the sale of these ornaments have always gone directly to funding the association's mission of preservation and education, and they continue to do so to this very day. We're so grateful and truly humbled that millions of you have collected and gifted these ornaments over the years, and that we've become a part of your holiday tradition. It all started in 1981 during the first term of the Reagan presidency. The idea was presented to then First Lady Nancy Reagan. The inaugural design was called Angel in Flight, followed by 1982's Dove of Peace, which was inspired by the weather vane George Washington commissioned for his home at Mount Vernon. Over the years, the design has taken inspiration from the different presidencies and interesting moments in White House history. For instance, the 200th anniversary of the building of the White House and the fire truck ornament to commemorate Herbert Hoover and the West Wing fire of 1929. Well, each year since Mrs. Reagan, the First Lady has made sure to add one of these special ornaments to a White House tree. We're here today in Rhode Island to show you how the magic is made. 2026 is a very special year for many reasons. Beacon Design is celebrating their 50th anniversary, and we're lucky to have been their partner for almost as long. More importantly, 2026 marks America's semi-quincentennial. This year, the official White House Christmas ornament is also the official ornament of A250 and features a depiction of the Declaration of Independence. Without the Declaration of Independence, there would never have been a country called the United States, the election of a president, or the need to build an executive mansion that we now call the White House. We're going to walk you through the very detailed process and show you how the ornaments are designed, etched, and finished with 24-karat gold. You'll meet the wonderful people who carefully assemble and package these keepsakes so that you can bring them home or give them to someone special. It's a truly fascinating process, and one far more complex than you might think. If you'd like to learn more about the history of each of these 45 White House Christmas ornaments from 1981 to 2025, the White House Historical Association has published a new edition of the official White House Christmas ornament, Collected Stories of a Holiday Tradition. It's available for purchase at our website, shop.whitehousehistory.org. You can also purchase the 2026 ornament featuring the Declaration of Independence at the same website. They make a wonderful gift and a keepsake as we begin celebrating America's 250th birthday. So let's go meet Hamilton Davison, CEO of Beacon Design, and Dave Marquis, former president of Chemart. Well, Hamilton and Dave, it's so wonderful to be back here at Chemart. Thank you for having me back with you at this wonderful place.
Well, we're delighted to have you here. It's an honor. Our entire company is excited beyond belief and grateful for your visit. So thank you.
Yeah, it's really good to have you back here.
Well, thank you both. I love telling the story of being in Lincoln, Rhode Island, a veteran-founded small business, and to come here and see the craftsmanship and the care and the love that you all put into this product that we have been so proud to have for 45 years, been sold to represent the White House, have benefited the White House Historical Association. I love coming here and seeing not just what you do for us and how those are created, but you've done ornaments for a number of other organizations and the military and patriotic causes. What goes into the conceptualization process of coming up with the design of the ornament and making it something that you, okay, this is it, this will work?
The first thing is to understand the audience that might be interested in it and understand what their hot buttons are, what they're looking for, what they find emotionally relevant and that they hopefully can see themselves in. We make one for the town of Lincoln, for instance. So that obviously is near and dear to our heart being here. But that'd be the first stage.
Yeah, I think that's probably the most important thing. It's to understand what messaging they're trying to relay, what's the sentiment behind it, and then working with them and collaborating with them.
Well, sometimes I think we're just throwing mud against the wall and seeing what sticks, but it's really more elaborate than that. We put a lot of careful thought
Yes.
into something that is beautiful, tells a story, has meaning to it, but that people will be proud to put on their tree
Right.
and that they will want to give as gifts.
Yes.
I often talk about the culture of gift giving with the ornaments, that once you start giving it to someone, they expect you to give it year after year. And we laugh, but there's a real culture around these ornaments that's special. And I know that I started buying them and collecting them in 1981 when the first one came out. And friends and I would put our money together so that we could get the bulk discount to buy the ornament every year. And we were always eager to see what's the design, when is it out, what's it going to be this year. Tell us about what your sense is of that demographic or that dynamic of that culture out there that follows this ornament all these years.
It's amazing. You must run into them also. But when I tell people what I do and I talk about the White House historical ornament, they're like, wow. And many of them say, yes, I collect it. And there is a great affinity and affiliation that goes along with that. And
Yes.
it's really fun. It's really great to hear those things from people.
To your point, if they don't get the next year, they're disappointed, and people look forward to it. And it's really well known. And it's really amazing that if you think about the quantity that you're able to distribute, that's like no other program in the world.
And it's a great gift. You're
It
right.
really is.
I mean, how often do we look for a hostess gift to go to a Christmas party? And it's a perfect hostess gift.
Well, now, not only are people using them for Christmas, but since we've done them since 1981, people are coming in and they're getting a birthday gift for someone who was born in 2000.
Yes.
Or they will get them if a bride will come in and she's getting married this year, she'll get them for her bridesmaids or for the groomsmen for that particular year. So people are very creative in how they use them. So that's an amazing, not just a collectible, but it has such sentimental value as well. I think people would be interested to know that you manufacture a new one for us every year, but you also continue making back to 1981. And every year we will sell many complete sets. So if a family has multiple children, they want to pass it down, they'll give a full set to one child, then they'll buy a whole set for another child.
Yeah, yeah, and it's the heirloom quality. The quality of the product, and the thought process behind it, and the meaning behind it. It really is something you can take pride in giving and receiving, and I think that's also part of the reason why it's so successful.
Well, even though we are so grateful for the proceeds that come from this to fund our mission, our education mission, our preservation mission, these are not just a retail product. These themselves tell stories of White House history. Why is that important to you and what you do?
I think it's amazing when you research the people and the place. The incredible stories are there. There's so much to learn. There's so many things that are not known. And with this program, it opens and it elaborates on the lives of the presidents and the lives of the lives of the building itself.
And you see that when you pick up a piece and you see elements that are symbolic of that event or whatever it may be, that president. And then you open it up and get a brochure that has quite a bit of detail about the piece and the administration or the event. And that also contributes.
We've been creative with a couple of these. We put a little light in the Calvin Coolidge ornament in commemorating the first White House National Christmas tree. We put some gingerbread fragrance into the ink of the Nixon ornament, which Mrs. Nixon was the first lady that did the gingerbread house in the decorations. So we've tried to be innovative in that way. And how do you feel about that? Do you like this sort of innovation that we try to do, or do you kind of let's stick to the basics?
No, it's a fun challenge, actually. And we enjoy it. We talk about it a lot within the company, and it gives us a chance to push the envelope a bit.
Yeah, I think it's a theme that is actually encompassing this organization in terms of being innovative and looking at things differently.
We have a whole team of designers that are working,
Yes.
but we also employ a whole bunch of engineers, in part to solve some of those challenges that come up.
I call it Santa's workshop because you're like these elves of people that are actually doing the hand detail of making each and every one of these with very painstaking care and
love.
And I'm so proud that since 1981, these have been made in America, made in the USA, not offshore. I mean, people say, "Oh, do you have them made?" No, these are made right here in the United States of America and have been since the very beginning. Now, Dave, you've been working here for 40 years. And
Yeah, not quite, but yeah, it's been a long time.
And Hamilton, just a couple of years.
Yes.
How do you see it from your perspective, Dave, and how it's grown and evolved? And yet, Hamilton, you're coming in at a time where we're really at a new frontier of the business.
I think that's a great segue into it. What I saw is a small manufacturer building over time different processes and trying to be creative. But at times we lacked the tools to really take us to another level. I think that what the new organization brings is a lot of engineering, a lot of science, a lot of data that really is taking it to another level.
So I saw a great company with a great workforce, a really quality product, a real commitment to quality company-wide, which takes a long time. You can't put that into a company. It has to be there.
Right.
And due to my various predecessors, there really is a sense of workmanship, craftsmanship that people take seriously. I also saw an opportunity to do some new things, some things out of my background that I thought we could experiment with. I'm filled with wonder and amazement every day here. It is so much fun to work in a place like this, creating these beautiful things that delight people and working with people like yourself.
How big is this company now? How many people were involved when it started? And then how many are involved today?
Start us?
Yeah, it started with about 3 or 4, and it's now up to about 120.
120 full-time, plus about as many in season part-time work that come in and help us get it all done for you.
Are these people, are they kind of cross-trained? Do they move from area to area?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah.
And again, that goes back to the innovation, how we utilize the people, how we utilize the staff, trying to make us more efficient. And when we talk to you about complexity, it's not just the complexity of the design, it's the complexity of how it's put together, how it's colorized.
Because we're vertically integrated, we do everything in-house. And most companies that aren't vertically integrated send pieces out to other companies. And then when something goes wrong, everybody's pointing the finger at someone else.
And you're one-stop shopping for us. We work with you on the printing of the history booklet. We work with you on the creation of the box, the cardboard box that it goes in. And so it's soup to nuts with you guys. When I tell people where I work, 90% of the time, the first thing is, "Oh, you're the Christmas ornament people." And, I think, well, yes, we are, but, and the great thing is that ornament is not our mission, but it makes our mission possible. I often say that if I'd been in the room when a staff member or two went into Mrs. Reagan in 1981 and said, "Let's do a Christmas ornament," I probably would have said, "Okay, sure, let's do a Christmas ornament." But thank goodness she said yes. Because if this ornament program had not started and become the beast that it became over the next 10, 15, 25 years, we may not exist as an organization. We certainly wouldn't be what we are today. So it has infused financing into what we do, but it has become the beast of the storytelling as well. So with America's 250th, we are so proud and privileged that we are in partnership with the official commission that was named by Congress to commemorate the semi-quincentennial. We are the official America's 250th White House Christmas ornament, or Christmas ornament at all. We are the ornament for America's 250th celebration. So really excited to partner with you on that.
We've developed a beautiful piece that is the Declaration of Independence and is framed in beautiful gold, 24 karat gold. Has a lot of stories with it. And I think it's going to be an exciting piece. I'm looking forward to seeing it in the market.
I like it because it's really the backbone of what we are and who we are.
And it begets, each time you set your tree up and you pull a piece out, it begets a discussion about history, about our background. And so there's a lot of goodness there.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because I'm often told that families will unpack these ornaments every year and tell the younger ones in the family the stories about what each one, and they'll reminisce about, oh, we've got this one, the Christmas, and that was the year we moved into this new house.
Yes.
Or this was the year that you were born, and
So
we got
connecting
this
the
ornament.
national story with their own.
That's
individual
right. It's
story.
really an incredible thing. What's it like to having Christmas 12 months a year?
It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of joy. And you can get that walking through and talking to
Well, I
people.
certainly see it here. It's really
it's a happy
amazing.
group
Yeah.
and a really nice culture. And I feel so blessed.
Well, thank you both. You've been such an integral part to who we are and what we do at the White House Historical Association. You are just woven into the fabric of our organization, and we couldn't be more grateful. And I'm excited now to go over and actually see the handiwork and your wonderful colleagues who are such great Americans making this happen.
Well, thank you. We're honored to do that for you. And we all take it very seriously.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, let's go see it.
Okay.
Great.
Well, Stuart, here we are where it all starts and it all begins. I know you know this young lady.
Yeah, this is Kim. She's the magic maker where it all starts right here.
She's been here 1 or 2 years. How many years?
39.
39 years.
And
Seems
we've
like
worked
yesterday.
together for 12.
Yes.
Yeah, I have those 12 on the wall in my office.
Yes. Yep.
So she's going to chat with you a little bit about research and design and how that all works together. And does a great job for us. So
I guess we'll talk about how it all begins, right?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I know with us, we know typically that a presidential year is coming up or a key White House anniversary, and you guys will go out and start visiting different libraries and resources.
Yep. I get to talk to the experts, all these people that are really passionate about a president or whatever the subject matter is that we're doing. So we try to get all the information we can from them. Take lots of pictures because we need a lot of information on your ornament. That small 3-inch ornament design is
it's
packed with
amazing.
a lot of information.
Yeah, so this starts a year and a half or 2 years before that actual Christmas time,
Correct.
where you're doing that, and we go back and forth a lot during that time.
Yep. So we get to a certain point, and then we get back in touch with you guys, and we go over possible themes, subject matter, where you want us to expand from there.
I love it where you'll come to us, and you may have 6, 8, 10 different designs,
Yes.
and I'll think, well, maybe this from this one and that from that one, or
Yeah.
what about this? And so it's like baking a cake. We're constantly adding ingredients and mixing and remixing.
Yes. And that's kind of nice too, because it becomes like a department design instead of a person's design. So that's kind of nice too. Although, it's a badge of honor when you pick a person's design.
We recently had a really important one, and that was with President Carter. It was interesting. We rolled up to President Carter's year, if we were doing that sequence, and it happened to be the year that he passed away.
Yeah.
It was really amazing coincidence, and I think the icon that was the center of that one was so important. Tell me about that.
Yeah. So on that particular design, we did a lot of personal stuff for him, and that resonated with the people that knew him the best or didn't really know a lot about him, but they enjoyed looking, reading your booklet, telling you what each of those icons meant.
Well, I learn something new every year that we do this, and that's what keeps it fun for me as well. So you don't just do the ornament. There's the box, there's the crush is the
The
little
insert. Yeah.
Then working with our historians to write and create the booklet or the card that goes in that tells about that ornament. All of that is here.
Yes, everything is all done up here. And that's working really closely with your team too, because, obviously you have all of the information. The historians, they actually do all the writing. We just set it up so that for printing purposes. But your team does a big part of that. But we do the cover of the ornament box and all that stuff. So
And that box is very important. That's the eye catcher.
yes,
That
it
people,
is.
when you come into that wall of ornaments in our shop and you see all of those compete against each other, really, as the years go by, and you can go back and buy all of them. We want every single one to tell a story.
Correct.
Can I meet the person who did the Carter ornament?
Yes, her name is Kim. We'll go meet her right now.
Okay, let's go. Let's go.
So Kim, look at what
Hi.
I brought.
Hey, Kim.
Hi,
Great to
nice-
see you.
Nice to see you again.
Wow, I came because you could tell me all about the Carter ornament. I know
Okay.
we went a lot of back and forth on that
Yes,
one. That
we
was a
did.
tough one to
That
do,
was fun.
but it worked out really well. Tell me
Yes, it
about
did.
it. I want to see.
Okay. So your colleague Lucy and our team had a nice meeting together. And while we were brainstorming some ideas, I started to hand sketch some design elements and things that were important to the administration or his presidency at the time. So this is actually the
is this
sketch.
it? This was the
Yep,
actual
this
sketch.
is the actual sketch
Look at that.
that I did while we were in the meeting, and it developed into the actual ornament over time,
Well,
which
the
is
anchor,
here.
of course, he was in the Navy, went to the U.S. Naval Academy.
Yes.
Means there's a nuclear submarine named after Jimmy Carter.
Yes, there is.
I love the anchor chain that is winding its way around there also.
We have a different layer system here,
Mm-hmm.
showing our colors and just different elements and aspects of the design that make it very special to the Carter administration.
Well, it was unique, and it's like every year you feel like you're topping the year before, and so this was really a special. And it's one of these things that we go back and forth, but then it was like, this is it. This is the magic, and it's one of the most successful ones.
Oh, that's wonderful. I think that's great.
Yeah.
I'm very proud to have designed it.
So the bar is high. Keep
It
going
is
up.
high, yes. It is. So after the design is complete and we run it by engineering to make sure it's manufacturable and cost effective, we then run a sample. We test it through engineering and quality control.
Mm-hmm. And the sample is what you send to us in Washington, and we actually see,
You actually
The
see
sample.
it. Yes, exactly.
and then we say, green lit, go.
Right. Or make these changes, so forth and so on.
And then it goes down into Santa's workshop where all
And
these magic
yes.
people, I'm excited to go see that.
Yes. Yeah. So we can take you down there as well.
Great. Thank you. This is awesome.
You're welcome.
So, Dave, here we are. This is where the magic happens. What are we about to see here?
There's a series of steps that we go through in order to make it. Where we're starting off right now is where we're actually going to clean the brass. It's about 18 to 20 thousandths thick. It's 18 by 24 in size. So this is our standard size sheet. That's the very first step.
And brass is copper and zinc.
Yeah, ours is a 70-30 mix. So it has 70% copper, 30% zinc.
Wow.
From here, we then take this sheet and we place it on the machine so it'll start to run down there.
Okay. What is this room called, and why is it yellow in here?
Because the material that ultimately the material that we're going to put on is white light sensitive. Photoresist is white light sensitive. This machine is we call it a board washer. What it does, it's cleaning the board, cleaning the sheet. So it goes through an alkaline cleaner here. It then goes here through a water rinse. It then goes through a sulfuric acid rinse. Now, the reason why it goes through a sulfuric acid rinse is that the resist, the coating that we put on, likes acidity. So by putting a slight coat, it'll give us better bonding so we can clean
It's
it.
just feeding through
Feeding
all
through
of these
here, yep.
different elements.
Goes through a washer, dryer, and when it comes out this end,
Yep.
it's ready to go. We also put a slight coating on the metal. We're going to coat the front and back of the sheet. That's going to allow us to transfer an image onto the metal. And you can see now the whole sheet.
So this is after it's gone through this.
That's
machine.
right. And what we've done is we put this material
Yeah, it's mirrorized
yep,
too. Yeah.
on the brass. We head back that way. And we go to the next room, which is right this way.
Okay. Wow.
So that's called board washing and
So
laminating.
step one is here.
Step 1 and 2, yep.
What
This
are we
is
doing in here?
This is called exposing. We call it Colite because that's the name of the machines.
How are
This is
you?
Kathleen.
Hi.
Kathleen,
Hey,
this is
Kathleen, I'm
Stuart.
Stuart.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you for bringing our ornament to
Oh,
life
you're
like
welcome.
this.
I love, yeah, it's
And
great.
so what Kathleen's going to do is, can you run a batch?
Yep.
So
I'm gonna-
what she's going to do is she's going to take the tool. She's going to take a piece of this is the sheets that we just looked at.
Laminated sheet.
Laminated sheets. Put that in here. She has pins to line up so that you get
Yeah.
even
And so
registration.
these are done so that you can get the maximum number of ornaments
That's
on
correct.
one sheet.
That's correct. And what she's going to do is she's going to lock that in position, bring it down here, and then she's going to put on a vacuum. Now what she's going to do is she's going to go back and forth to make sure there's no bubbles or anything like that. And now if you look right there, see the black light?
Oh yeah.
Black light there? Just like you had in the rooms in the 70s and 80s,
Yeah.
right? So that's ultraviolet light. So that's why we have yellow lights here.
So you can see it there. It's imprinted.
This is all bad.
That's correct.
Right.
Yep.
But it's not raised at all.
No.
It's just,
We took this and we took the image from the tool and we burnt it into the laminate. So that's how we transfer the image.
and you have a computer program that helps you determine
That's right.
spatially
And that would be
how many can go on.
and that would be done at this process. We call it yield. And that would be for the whole piece, including any components that go with it.
Thank you so much.
Welcome.
Thanks, Kath. Nice job.
Welcome. No problem.
So our next step is developing. And what we're going to do there is we're going to make it so that we can handle the product in white light.
Okay, so we're finished with the yellow light
That's
process.
right. We're finished with the yellow. Yep. This is what the sheets look like after they're exposed. There's mylar layers on both sides, which we peel away. So this is the surface that we're going to be working with. What we do is we run it through this device. This is called a developer. They use a potassium carbonate mix. That's the formulation that creates the hardener or the developer.
Tell me a little bit, with all the chemicals you use, the environmental sensitivities and care that you take.
Well, it's probably job one. It's probably one of the most important things. What we do is we look at trying to recycle all that we can. We try to make sure that we have everything properly handled. We have a full-blown safety team.
Environmental safety and employee safety are job one for us. So we spend a lot of time in training and assessment, audits. We also have a full-blown wastewater treatment plant here. So anything we're discharging into the Narragansett Bay system, which flows to the ocean, we're monitoring constantly.
You have like an EPA inspection and then a state inspection as well.
Yes, we do. We have a lot of inspections.
Well, it's amazing that this one little beautiful ornament that we open
Yes.
in a box, all of those environmental concerns and care is taken to make sure that it's produced as environmentally safe as possible and as
Absolutely.
employee safety as
Absolutely.
possible.
And that even includes the packaging. We try to do recycle paper wherever we can and recycle board wherever we can to, again, to
And so when you cut out these pieces from the metal and that's that remnants of metal,
Yep.
what happens to those scraps?
that
Those all get reclaimed, melted down, reused,
Recycled.
and recycled.
Wow, that's great. Thank you. What's next?
next step is actually, now we'll actually see how the piece is cut.
Okay.
So we're going to head to
Let's
the
go.
etching.
So what is this room?
This is our etching area. I'd like you to meet Tom Rickards.
Hi, Tom. Nice
Hi,
to meet
nice
you.
to meet you.
Such an honor.
Tom, how long have you been here?
August 4th, 1988.
My goodness. Congratulations. You've made a lot of White House Christmas
Yes, I did.
Let's see that.
Do you have a favorite?
Yes, all of them.
It's like asking somebody what their favorite child
That's
is.
right.
Right.
That's great. Well, what is this process, Tom?
So Tom,
It's etching with ferric chloride, and when we have the brass piece, just flip this over. You got spray tubes that spray acid onto the top and bottom, and that gets away all the glass. That's the basics of
and so what happens when it goes through, all of that happens when it goes through this machine?
yes. And then when it comes out, all the brass that's showing all around the pieces
Yes.
will be, disappear, and then you can have your ornament.
if you just watch your step right here, you can see now that the pieces are cut away.
Oh, yeah. Look at that.
Acid.
Show off.
Thank you, Tom. So you can see through those lines.
That's right. Yep. So you
that
can
have
see
been cut.
you've got a whole cut here,
Yeah.
but you can also see all around here. Now we have to take the resist off. So the next step is going through the process called stripping. So I'd like you to meet Raleigh.
Hey, Raleigh. Great to meet you.
Raleigh's our
Thank you so
chief
much.
later here, and he's going to kind of step you through the process. So what he's going to do is he's going to dunk in a number of different baths. We use different materials to lift the resist off and bring it back down to its raw material, which is brass. So he did a simple green. That's a water rinse. This is an ultrasonic that has actual charge to it, so you can see it's.
Oh, yeah. Look at it.
Yep.
That's
So that's, again, trying to make sure the sheet is, remove all particles of the resist, make sure it's all nice and clean. There's water. There's bleach.
So, Raleigh, your process is one of the most labor intensive
Absolutely. It is
of all of these.
It is the most labor intensive of everything.
So we've come down with Raleigh all this line,
Yep.
and we've gone to each of these dipping steps. Then we come here, and what is this?
So these are all cleaning steps. Now this is where we're actually going to do the first finish. Inside these little bags are chips of nickel, about the size of a dime, about maybe a 1/4 inch thick. We use sulfuric acid and boric acid to break that down. And so what you see right there is liquid nickel. Right behind you is a device called a rectifier. It sends an electronic charge down this anode. This is called an anode. The rack is connected, and so it's being
So
electroplated.
those plates will hang on those racks.
That's right. And actually being electroplated. And when they come out, can you show them? When it comes out, it goes from brass to nickel.
That's incredible.
And the reason why we use nickel is brass is really pliable. So this gives us some rigidity
Wow.
and adds some value. It also is a really good bonding agent for gold.
So every Christmas ornament on every tree in the nation, Riley has taken through this step
That's
of dipping and
That's
vinicling.
correct. Yep. We're going to repeat the process. So again, we're going to run it down a cleaning line.
Okay.
This is a cleaning line for gold. So Valley's going to take that, again, do a series of baths. Now this next step is going to be gold plating. So here what Valley's going to do is he cleans the sheet. This is the rectifier, this is the anode, and what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to look in there.
And that's the gold plate?
That's the gold, that's liquid
That's
gold.
the 24 karat gold plate.
Liquid gold, yep. Now, if you take a look down here, you'll start to see it go a little bit of alka seltzer again.
Oh,
See it down
yeah,
there?
look at that. Yeah.
All right. Now, the longer we leave it, the more gold we put on it.
So that liquid adheres to it in a.
That's
coat.
right.
There you go.
And that's how you get your gold. So that's how we transfer it to that.
24 karat gold,
Yep.
White House Christmas
There
ornament.
you go. Then it goes through a series of baths, and then it goes through a dryer. What he's going to do is make sure that the sheets gets nice and dry, so it gets ready for the next process.
Okay. So it's being dried.
Yep.
It's come out of the dryer. Look
Yep.
how shiny that is with the 24 karat gold.
Yeah, it really does.
On that.
It really pops. So next step is to put some color on it.
Okay.
So we're going to go next door and take a look at our screen print in the bottom to see how that's done.
Let's do that.
So this is our next step. That's the screen printing area. This is where all your work is done.
These are beautiful.
What we're doing now is we're putting down the 12th color.
So 12 steps
12
with the
steps.
color on one side.
That's correct. So it's a lot of fun. But
That's
these
amazing.
machines are the same machines used with making iPhones.
Those are really beautiful. Made in the USA, right there.
Sure is.
Fantastic.
So this is our next step. This is how we actually take the pieces off the sheets. What we do is, around each piece, we may have 4 or 5 connectors. What these young ladies are going to do is they're going to take it and they're going to cut each piece. And one of the advantages of doing this is that the quality level, every single piece is looked at by an individual. And it gives a very high quality level. A typical sheet like this could have 300 or 400 cuts.
It's amazing.
So it's amazing how well they do it.
The layer upon layer upon layer of detail.
Yep. So Stuart, this is our next step. I'd like you to introduce to Nick Jones. Nick Jones, our VP of Operations.
Meet you.
And Nick has been in charge of innovation. And one of the things that when we came up with the 250 ornament, was a challenge in terms of how we were going to get the Declaration of Independence cut and onto the piece. Nick stepped in and did that. He also leads the whole organization in innovation.
Well, and I imagine the challenge was on the resolution of it too, to be able to give it some clarity.
Yeah, so we use a multicolor print process that allows us to get very sharp resolution. And what's really important here is the registration of the print. This is more challenging than the typical piece we would make. It requires us to use optical registration to ensure each piece is perfectly centered, so the text is legible on every piece.
And these will become decals.
Yeah, these are
That are
linen
then
prints
affixed.
that'll be affixed to the piece.
So it actually has a linen texture to it,
That's
not
right.
just
Correct, yes.
That's right.
paper
Yep.
or metal.
Yep.
Wow, fantastic. Really
So next thing we want to do is we want to show you another one of his toys. It's robotics. So we're going to take a walk over there and we're going to take a look at that as well. Our next step is, again, on the theme of innovation. I'd like you to meet Carlos
Hey,
Ferreira.
Carlos, I'm Stuart.
Carlos,
Honor to
this is
meet you.
you.
Thank you.
Carlos has been with us for a number of years, and a neat story. We actually did we went to different schools to talk about our process. Carlos showed interest, came to us as a designer. So he was a designer. He designed the helicopter.
Oh, congratulations. Oh, that's fantastic.
So
That's
he-
an incredible one.
So he designed the helicopter, and what we've done now is he's got a dual shift.
Yeah.
Doesn't do as much designing, he does more engineering, but the link together, he's also the liaison between the two. And that's helped us with a great deal in terms of automation and things of that nature. So, Carlos, maybe you could talk a little bit about what we're doing here.
Yeah, so this was like a cross-function team effort. So the design was by the engineering team, and my involvement was designing 3D printing the forming tool, the press print that for the ornament.
So when he talks about the tooling, this part was 3D printed, and that part is 3D printed.
Incredible. And this process here, before you had these robotics,
It's all done
would
by
all
hand.
been done by hand.
That's right. And the tooling gives us a consistent bend, so we're getting more of a snap fit than trying to jerry rig it. So it's just an improvement.
And everything is it's precise and
Right.
exactly. the
It's
same.
still assembled by hand, but we're trying to gain tools to make it easier for them and make them more efficient.
Yeah.
You know, it really takes a village. And with Carlos's unique skills of both design and engineering, we really have a winning formula. So this is where all the elves work, and this is where we put everything together. So this is Jackie and
Hey,
Wendy,
Jackie. Hey, Wendy.
two of our best.
Hi,
and,
thank you.
They are women of many talents. They can do a bunch of different things.
And there's our linen
There's
decal
your
that we
linen
saw
decal,
being
yeah.
printed.
Yeah. And they're putting it together. Hey, Jack, I think we should give Stuart a challenge.
Train me to do it.
I think what I want you to do is I want you to show him how you put one together, at least
Okay.
the top, and let's see what you do.
All
What do you
right.
think? Let's have some fun.
Okay.
Are you gonna help them with the pre-bend?
Yes.
Or are you gonna make them bend it all? They can.
I'll bend it.
Don't go easy on them. Don't go
Yeah.
easy on them.
Okay.
So I've been,
The
okay,
first thing we have to put this.
bend it down. You have to make sure it fits through.
Yes.
Okay.
Then you twist.
We have to twist.
Twist it. Yeah.
So let him sit here and let him take a shot, and you coach him.
We'll see if you taught me well enough. I'm going to put it through here. Then I'm going to do this.
That's impressive.
Oh yeah.
That's impressive. Usually,
And then I'm going to take one of these
there's your tool.
and I'm going to bend this down in a 90-degree angle like that.
Yeah.
And one there, and then you twist it and you,
Very good. Very good.
how about that?
Hi, we hire him. Let's hire him.
Thank you. Thank you so much. That was awesome. Wow, this is fantastic. I love it. You know, when somebody hangs this on their Christmas tree, they have no idea the steps, the 17 steps, and that your labor of love, taking each one by hand and doing each of these things with it, is really, really special.
Put the decal on it, and then let him take it as a remembrance.
Oh, yeah, okay. So is it, oh, it's already sticky.
Yeah.
And do I
Right.
put it on one of the,
No, I
on
do
this
it.
one?
Yeah,
Oh,
that's the
wow.
one you made.
Okay.
So you'll be able to say, you'll be able to go back.
I made, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, but I didn't get to dip it in the gold and do all of that.
Okay, well,
Almost.
right.
Oh.
All right.
You do it.
That's it.
Wow.
There we go. Here we go. Thank you. There you go. Thank you. So, Jackie, you're going to show us how the ornaments are put in the boxes. And this is the 2026 A250 White House Christmas ornament. Let's go.
All right. The first thing, like what we do in shipping the bags, like everything looks good.
Yep.
The back and the front, and then we have to put the ornament and the insert. Just easy part. Bending this.
Put the ribbon behind the card. That tells about it, the history of
The
it.
story about the White House.
Yep. So now we're going to take the one that you helped me put together over there, and I'm going to see if I can box it. How about that?
Okay.
So here's the box. I'm going to check it to make sure it's all good. On the back, front, looks good to me. We open it up, tuck the ribbon in the back, make sure it's all behind there. Snap it down into the mold there. Hear it click. Take the history card, tells about the White House Historical Association. Put that on top,
Here you
smack it down, and it's good to be sold. But this is my souvenir.
That's yours.
Thank you so much. Well, Hamilton and Dave, thank you so much. We've completed our tour of the entire Santa's workshop below us to create and manufacture and package these amazing White House Christmas ornaments. It's been inspirational to me to see the process once again. I cannot wait to show it to the viewers of the White House 1600 sessions. Thank you so much for having me here today.
Our pleasure. We love showing it off. Thank you for spending some time with us.
And if you ever need another job,
Hey, I did pretty well on my,
that was
putting that together.
another job.
That's great. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Thank you, Dave. You guys are fantastic, and we're just so proud to have you as partners. I know you're going to want one not just for yourself, but for everybody you know this year. It's the perfect commemorative, and it's the official White House Christmas ornament and the official America 250 ornament. You got to have one, and you got to get them for friends. You can get them at shop.whitehousehistory.org. Thanks so much. Thank you all for listening and watching today. Be sure to subscribe to the White House 1600 Sessions on your favorite podcast provider so that you never miss an episode, and watch the video version on YouTube and Facebook. Your support of the White House Historical Association makes this work possible. When you become an association member, or when you purchase a book, or even the official White House Christmas ornament, you're helping to fund our education mission through teacher programming, publishing, our White House History Live, in-person and virtual events, and our latest initiative, the People's House, a White House experience. You know, we're bringing the White House and its storied history to life at 1700 Pennsylvania Avenue, and it's open to everyone. So plan your visit today and register for free passes at our website, thepeopleshouse.org. And you can learn more about our work as a nonprofit, nonpartisan organization by going to our website, whitehousehistory.org. Thank you very much.